Here we go.
Leaks are beloved by players, abhorred by developers, and abused by randoms looking for 5 minutes of fame. In almost all cases, leaks are false, and most of them are just fan fiction of what people want to happen, not what's actually coming. But even if they are false, people love to run with it, making videos, articles, and more about the what if it's real. And I can't blame them, because I let my head run wild with speculation as well. But as BlizzCon 2023 approaches, and Classic Plus and the future retail is on the line, the leaks are getting more numerous and more outlandish. There are already dozens of Reddit, MMO Champion, 4chan, X formerly known as Twitter, and Discord threads all leaking across the internet. And honestly, if this many people knew what was coming, I'm sure someone would have made a leak that was more credible than a vaguely accurate sounding 4chan thread. But before we...
I don't think people know. I don't think they have any idea. And I think also people make guesses and they say, oh yeah, this is what's going to happen for sure. And like they're right about two things, because if you pick 100 numbers between 1 and 100, you've got a pretty good chance of picking the right number, right?
Dive into the leaks, let's clear the elephant in the room, and that's Chris Metzen returning. We all know that this signifies a return to a more Metzen-esque dramatic storytelling, and I'm all for it, because a little more green Jesus never hurt anyone. And thus, the leaks of...
I always thought Thrall was I think Thrall's kind of boring now. I'm gonna be honest. I think that the Garrosh should have killed Thrall and Wad. Like, that was the end of, like, I mean, come on, Thrall's good, but he's just like... I feel like Thrall has served his purpose in the story.
Honestly, if you go looking for it, you're going to find a lot of them. But we're looking at the trending leaks and whether there is any truth to them. So first off, we have Awakening, a leak that has many people discussing and actually considering it due to one fact. It was publicly posted before Chris Metzen announced his return. So it gave some due to one fact. We have Awakening.
First Classic Plus expansion, $50. The whole idea is a what if the Dark Portal didn't open after vanilla. Chris Metzen is the main head behind the project. We'll reuse assets from TBC, Wrath, and Cataclysm to maintain the visual aspect of the Classic era. This is a big W. New models will look like the reawakened Phase Hunter mount, like the one that was the Burning Crusade expansion. New level cap is 70 without new continents. Hyjal and Emerald Dream will be new zones. Idea is to finish the various vanilla questlines that were lost in time with the arrival of the Burning Crusade. High Elves and Ogres will be the new races respectively for the Alliance and the Horde. The first raid tier will be against the Scourge. Cataclysm Classic will happen after Wrath. I don't know, guys. Like, half of that seems interesting, half of it doesn't. Like, there's a big part of me that doesn't want them to increase the level cap. I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure if they should increase the level cap. And the reason why is that you don't have to. And the reason why you don't have to is because everything is done in baseline percentages. So this is why I think Classic WoW is actually the best for, like, not increasing the level cap. This is 1% no matter what. But if you're having new gear that is instead 14 crit, and then you go down to, like, let's say 30 crit, well, then now we're talking about like 3%. Now it's becoming more and more and more. And the reason why is that crit increases the value of, let's say, attack power. And attack power increases the value of haste. And then haste increases the value of mastery. I know mastery is not in Classic, but like, you see the point. And so what ends up happening is that these numbers get so high that it's like insane. Whereas keeping it at percentages is actually very smart, because you're not going to get to items that have like 15% crit on them. Like, the only items that have 2% crit, it's like the neck off of fucking, what's it called? KT, Savage Gladiator chest, and like 3 other items. That's about it. The trinket from Rend Blackhand, or not Rend, the questline. Like, that's it. So I actually think that percentages is what they should stick with, and they shouldn't even increase the level cap. There's, no power creep.
A leak that has many people discussing and actually considering it due to one...
You want to know who did a really great expansion without a massive amount of power creep? New World. I actually think the New World expansion and how it integrates into the content of the game was expertly done. I'm very happy about it. It was probably one of the best implementations of an expansion I've ever seen. The expansion made the game bigger, when a lot of times expansions just make the game smaller. New World is fucking awesome now, yeah.
In fact, it was publicly posted before Chris Metzen announced his return, so it gave some more credibility and has many people considering this to be a legitimate leak, especially because it's also a grounded leak. Nothing extreme, obnoxious, stupid.
I really hate to say this, I think there's someone hanging right there.
Just valid things that you could see Blizzard doing. It's the first Classic Plus expansion, worth about $50, making it cheaper than a regular expansion. Chris Metzen is the head of the project, which later turned out to be true as he is now the executive creative director of all of World of Warcraft. The thing though that trips me up and has been cause for concern for many others is the reuse of assets from TBC, Wrath and Cataclysm, mainly because those assets were designed for their respective expansions and Cataclysm essentially redid all the models, so it'd be
Cataclysm was a quality increase. Now, if you saw this bow, I would assume this bow came out in like Legion. This bow was added into the game in Burning Crusade, and it is still fresh. It still looks good. It is fucking insane how good this bow. Yes, this bow came out, I think it came from Archimonde, right? Yeah, it came from Archimonde. In Hyjal. In 2007, they made this. So I think that there are a number of items, even in Classic WoW, that look extremely good. I'm going to be real. I think these look amazing. Like, even in retail WoW, they still look very good. A good example that's not the exact same, this drops from Terran Gorefiend and Black Temple. This looks insanely fucking good. Like, this still looks good, in my opinion. It is nuts. It's so nice. Now, again, I think the Legion bow, that bow, like, this bow clears everything else, right? Like, this is just, like, such a high quality, such a high design model. It's amazing. But, like, everything else is still, like, all I'm saying is there's a spectrum. And some of these pieces, even then, were just, like, insanely well designed.
jarring to have them in Classic Plus. Plus, this is a terrible idea as Blizzard has the technology and ability to make low-res, low-polygon textures and assets. It's art at the end of the day, and it's not something advanced or extremely difficult to do. Look at old-school RuneScape. The level cap being 70 makes sense as they're adding new content, new items.
I don't want to see the level cap increased. I don't want to see the level cap increase because what we'll do is it will invalidate all of the vanilla content. Yeah, because like the way combat tables work in the game is that whenever you're fighting content that's like the same level as you, it has a certain percentage to like hit and miss and stuff like that. So like if you take a character that has the exact same stats and they're level 70 and they go into Nax versus level 60, they will have a totally different experience because of the combat hit tables. I think that all they need to do is add in new content. Don't increase the level cap. There's no reason to.
A new meta, essentially. It would be strange to have an expansion that's the same level, especially if we don't get new talent or whatever this new direction would take us. The High Elves and Ogres are pretty massively copium, as players have wanted them for essentially 2 decades, and if Classic Plus players get them before retail, I can imagine the rioting that'll occur. The rest of the ideas are good, but I'm not sure how much of this is going to be legit. I feel like if this leak is real, it's from an employee who may have been on the team when it was in pre-production, so they're out of touch of what's actually coming. I'm giving this leak a solid 7 out of 10, only because Awakening has been leaked for the last 4 years, maybe even longer, and because every couple leaks has had Chris Metzen returning for far longer than 4 years. Whilst there have been other Classic Plus leaks, most of them have been pure unadulterated fan fiction, so I'm not really going to dive into them, but I'll dive into the ideas and themes behind those said leaks, such as going into Hyjal, a new zone in Gilneas, Borealis being added, a finished Karazhan, the mysterious portal in Winterspring which probably leads to Hyjal, the Emerald Dream, Grimbatol, Baal Modan, Ajara Crater, and more. A lot of
that's a good start. Okay, we also want to add in the most important one, the Scarlet Citadel 40-man raid, that at the end of it you receive the crystal that you need to take to Outland to have what's his name, Turalian's son help purify the Ashbringer that you get from Naxxramas. And you can only purify the Ashbringer at the altar in the Scarlet Citadel raid, and then that turns it into the original Ashbringer, and, you know, maybe change the stats up, make it a little bit better. No Outland, no? No, there is Outland. No, you do go to Outland. And, like, you could even make a massive server event with, like, them adding Outland into the game, but without it being some kind of crazy thing, like unlocking the Dark Portal again. Imagine that. Like, the Dark Portal is shut down, there's a massive server-wide event in the same way it's the Scepter of the Shifting Sands, and you unlock Outland again. That would be fun. Yeah, like, unlock the portal, like, the opening of the Gates of AQ. Exactly. Flying? No flying. No flying. Just Outland. Yep, Outland scaled to 60. Totally different than the way it is in retail WoW. Like, kind of some of the same general, like, trends, but totally different. And I think that, like, make Outland way more desolate. Like, no Terracar Forest. Like, I'm talking, like, Hellfire Peninsula, Blade's Edge Mountains, the Grand. That's it. No Netherstorm, no fucking Terracar Forest. Oh, Shadow Moon Valley, too. We have Shadow Moon Valley. Yeah, Shadow Moon Valley is the main area, right? Blade's Edge with no flying mount? Yes. And obviously, you would completely redesign and reimagine the zones, but, like, that would be the style of it. Northrend? If they bring back Northrend, I want Icecrowned to be a barren wasteland tundra that is, like, there's, like, water there, and it's like a, it's like, imagine sailing into, like, Antarctica. Basically. And there's like zombies and shit like that in Antarctica. It's supposed to be uninhabitable. Yeah, exactly. Like the Warcraft 3 cinematic? Yes, exactly like that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Leaks simply talk about Classic Plus as a finished vanilla, a world in which vanilla launched with all the content it had planned but had to scrap due to timelines and deliverables. Now, that is the ideal version of Classic Plus, a simple game that continues the classic approach and finishes Classic itself whilst fixing what's wrong with the game. And fuck off with the no changes shit. This is Classic Plus. We want all the goddamn changes. Basically, Classic Plus seems like
I think that they should be extremely conservative with changes. The changes that I think they should make is they should buff a few of the underperforming classes. Like, they should give some sort of Moonkin mana return. And they should also do some form of Moonkin mana return, like a Ret Paladin Crusader strike. Maybe like something for Elemental Shaman. But otherwise, don't change anything else. Give Paladins a taunt. I don't know about that. Because, I mean, like, the thing is, like, Consecration and, like, the Paladin AoE threat is just so good and so much better than like everything else that I think that I'd be worried that they would invalidate Warriors if they had a taunt. I don't know if that would be good or not, but I think they should be very conservative with like the changes, but I do think they should make a lot of them.
Expansion after Cataclysm has run its course, with Classic Plus being in development right now but not ready for launch. We already know that Cataclysm Classic is coming, and I'd be genuinely surprised if Blizzard didn't do it. Heck, look at some BlizzCon 2021 official art. If that Deathwing over there is meant to represent Heroes of the Storm, I'll eat a sock, especially since Heroes of the Storm is scrapped. But Classic
I think they'll... Okay. Uh-oh. Look who it is.
Plus will very likely be announced at the same time so we can get hyped and prepare for Classic Plus whilst they bolster Cataclysm Classic's player numbers. But what if Classic Plus isn't enough for your leaking needs, and what if you just don't care about Classic Plus? Well then, here's the upcoming critically acclaimed Arcane Season 2 Warcraft Chronicles. The animated special made by, I think, the same people who made Edge Runners, I'm not sure honestly, with some Night Elf looking shoulder pads, could be a great way to introduce the lore to the masses the same way Arcane did for League of Legends. What's that? Classic Plus and WoW anime isn't enough for you? Don't worry, your pretty little head won.
I'm kind of worried about Blizzard doing an anime. I think it's gonna be garbage. I think what they should do is that I hope they don't try to do a new story. Just do Arthas. Just do Arthas. Just don't. No, just do Arthas. I don't want to see any sort of like dumb shit. Just do Arthas. It'll be simple. That's it.
Little bit, as they aren't the only thing being overwhelmed by leaks. Retail WoW has even more leaks than Classic Plus. We currently have 3 major leaks, such as WoW, A Pirate's Life for Me, which a lot of people covered already, an adventure to the other side of Azeroth where we discover some ancient lore and history. It sounds like a cool idea, and the other side of Azeroth is something Blizzard will eventually use, even if not now. The next leak is the Forgotten Dwarves of Kaz Algar, a dwarf, earthen, or elemental themed expansion, which we learned thanks to someone data mining on Reddit, which was then covered on Wowhead. We know that
I don't know, really, a dwarf expansion. I think that idea that's really cool, but I don't know if it's really gonna happen. I think they should have done that like after Wrath. I think like now it's like it's like it's too far. And also I feel like dwarves are so focused, it's like a patch, not an expansion. Like I wish that like back in Warcraft 2, bro, you had all of, like, you had, like, the Stone Reaver clan. You had the Burning Blade clan. You had the, fucking the Frostwolf clan. You had the Deadeye clan. And you had all of these fucking, like, different tribes and chieftains of the tribes. Like, it was Warlords of Draenor. Yes, dude. And you had the Warlords of Draenor. They were the warlords. It was fucking insanely awesome. So fucking good. And then, like, all of them came to Dragon Maw clan. Yeah, exactly. And, like, it would be really cool if we had an expansion that brought in all of the clans of the, like, the Wildhammer dwarves, the Dark Iron dwarves, the, like, there's, like, I think 2 other ones I'm just not thinking of. Let's see, the Dwarf Maxing, yeah, exactly. Bronzebeard, yeah, all of them. And you had, like, you know, the Horde and Alliance ones, right? You bring back the Orc clans and then the Dwarf clans. That would be really cool.
This has some basis of truth, as the Heroic Edition mount reward for the next expansion is quite literally called the Algarian Storm Rider, which is quite literally a griffin of some kind. There is also lore in-game which talks about Kaz Algar, but only minimally. I could be wrong, but hey, if the shoe fits, you know what I mean? And the final leak is a continuation of the Wowhead data mining and is essentially called Stormbreak, which I think is based off WoW Eclipse as separately. But nonetheless, it's about returning to Azeroth and the whole place changing slowly but surely without intervention and questing as well as new mechanics and systems. As you can see with Stormbreak and the MMO champion warriors debating this entire thing back and forth and trying to prove if these screenshots are real or fake. Whilst I don't know if this is real or not, it looks legitimate, looks high in quality, and seems to be almost an homage to vanilla, which makes sense for 11.0, an essential soft reboot of World of Warcraft. And the leaks for
They can't do a soft reboot, it has to be a hard reboot. Yeah, it has to be a hard reboot. You have to completely reboot the game. You can't just add in a bunch of other random stuff, etc. It has to be a hard reboot. It change everything. There needs to be a cataclysm of everything. I think what they should do is they should make it to where, like, you can have all of your old stuff, but only in, like, a garrison or something like that. And otherwise, everything else is totally open. And it's all reset and everything's different.
Stormbreak themselves clearly have the same vibe and feeling that the Dragonflight leaks had, so hey, never say never. So with all these leaks, all these images, these what ifs, this overwhelming hope that we, in Gordon Ramsay's words,
finally, it's a good fucking food.
I personally believe that these leaks are all mostly false, not counting the data mining from Wowhead. Not because they have overwhelming evidence against them, but because these all seem to be in vain with what Blizzard has already planned. Nothing here is unique, outlandish, etc. It seems to be people guessing in the ballpark of something that Blizzard would actually already do. Dwarves and their shenanigans are kind of expected for retail, all because of the Algarian Storm Rider leak. And Classic Plus could be literally any of the 100+ unfinished content portions from vanilla. So even
I think that they should be very careful about adding things into Classic Plus. I am kind of worried that they'll mess it up or do something wrong. I just hope that they listen to the community and they don't make very unpopular decisions.
parts of these leaks are true. They were lucky guesses in my opinion, and I do think that they are off. How off, I don't know. Ignoring the leaks, what do you want for the future of WoW? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure you watch this video about my opinion on Classic Plus's future in 2024. Subscribe if you're cute, and if you're ugly, hit subscribe anyways. What do you have to lose? Ebonheart out.
I guess I'll subscribe then. I think it's a good video. I'm gonna link it to you guys. Ebonheart only has 1,000 subs. Make sure to give it a like if you enjoyed the video. I can always appreciate somebody who makes a 6-minute video. Okay? Especially as somebody who makes usually 1 hour and 6-minute videos. So yeah, there's the video right there. Make sure to give it a like. I like that video a lot. I will have to say, I think that they need to focus on Classic. I do. I think retail WoW is so played out, so drawn out. Like, retail WoW, I was thinking about this a lot. And I was actually talking to my dad about this yesterday. And I was saying that, like, the best fantasy stories are the ones where you never truly touch the divine. And what I mean by that is, like, in Lord of the Rings, you can watch all of Lord of the Rings and not know what a Valar or a Maiar spirit is at all. Gandalf is a wizard who can kind of cast spells. Oh, there's a big Balrog. The Balrog was, oh, wow, right? It was a really big deal. It was a big demon. But then he's gone, that's it. You never really touch the divine. And I also was talking about like the fucking, what was it? Conan the Barbarian, Methuselah Doom. This is James Earl Jones, who played the Darth Vader. Like, yeah, he turns into a snake, but is he really that magical if Conan can just cut his fucking head off? No, not really. The Riddle of Steel, there you go. And the reason why these things are so incredible and so good is because they're so grounded. They're very relatable. And I think that World of Warcraft kind of... They should have never had you talk to Elune. Like, Sargeras should never even be on the screen. The Titans should be a force in the cosmos. Should never even hear about it. You shouldn't even know what they look like. And the moment that you start unveiling that kind of stuff, I think things start to unravel. They went the Marvel way. Yes, exactly. And that's what I said. The Celestials, you can never understand the Celestials. It's garbage. It's the same with fucking, what's his name? Galactus. You never can have Galactus on the fucking big screen and have it be a legitimate villain. Galactus was perfect in the the Fantastic Four, right? Because it was this ominous presence. The only thing that you ever saw about Galactus was it's like, the clouds kind of look like, his helmet does in the comics. And that's it. It is a force of evil that exists in the mind of the person. And I think that in a way, it kind of, if you compare it to this, I think it works, is with scary movies. A lot of scary movies don't really show the monster until the very end of the movie. Because the reveal of the monster is almost never going to be as scary as what people thought it was going to be. That's it. Cosmic horror. Yes.